Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tuloya. This morning, let us digress a little bit, but I'm also worried about something which has just happened. This is the news that I'm bringing you this morning. I'm worried about something that has just happened, and this has a lot to do with how the justice system operates in this country. You see, we have been looking into the sense of Mayua trial and how the investigation was not done properly and so on and so forth. Let me give you something that is breaking news. According to the City Press, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the Commissioner of the South African Police Services in the KwaZulu-Natal province, is alleged to have prevented an arrest. Yes, alleged to have prevented an arrest. There was a team from the national headquarters of the South African Police Services that were going to arrest an area commissioner of correctional services. And that arrest simply did not take place. You know what happened? That particular area commissioner called Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and probably said to him, "Here I am getting arrested." And Mkhwanazi says he was surprised that this particular area commissioner was being arrested without his knowledge. Apparently, the area commissioner of the South African Correctional Services is running a criminal syndicate out of the Westville prison. This was the reason why the team from national headquarters was there to arrest him. Upon hearing this, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi then put a stop to the whole thing. In other words, prevented the arrest in spite of the fact that there was a team from the national headquarters in Pretoria out to arrest that particular individual. They said they would look into this. They started looking into it. It looks like it was hurriedly looked into. And they then made an assessment that no. This arrest is not a proper arrest. It is actually going to be unlawful. And if it turns out to be unlawful, we are going to incur a lot of costs by way of lawsuits against ourselves. So the arrest was just not taken, it just did not take place. What a country we live in. Look, a team from national headquarters is dispatched following an elaborate investigation that there is this gentleman who is an area commissioner of correctional services running a syndicate, a criminal syndicate, out of the Westville prison in KZN, right? And when that team then proceeds to KZN, based on tangible evidence that they have. Now, when they get to KZN, they simply cannot make an arrest because, according to Neshunda, I think, is the spokesperson of the South African Police Services in the province, in KZN. They then eventually make a decision. They start acting like defense lawyers on behalf of this person who's supposed to be arrested. They then start arguing that no, this is going to be unlawful, in spite of the fact that there's been that elaborate investigation by headquarters. They then say, oh, well, no, there's no case here. There's no need to arrest this particular person. Amidst or in the face of those serious allegations of running a criminal syndicate out of a correctional service facility. This is the really of South Africa that we live in. There's one law for you and there's one law for others, and yet there's a third law for, those who never get touched by the police. We have been worried about, how Kelly Kumal is not getting arrested in the Mayua case. Here's a classic example. Of somebody who uses his authority and just simply instructs people from national headquarters that no, I'm not aware of this matter. That that buck stops with me. I'm the most senior cop in the province. How does this person get arrested without my knowledge? He then makes an assessment of the situation and says, oh, well, no, there's no case here. There's no need to arrest this person. We are going to face a lot of lawsuits here. You guys just go away. So the arrest never took place. That is the reality of how the criminal justice on the ground operates in this country. I am keeping a close watch over this matter. I want to see how the authorities that be how is it that other people just are just arrest proof, you know, in spite of the evidence leading to the arrest of this person. The police just make an assessment that no, there's no need for an arrest here. The sort of argument that will be advanced by a defense lawyer for this particular individual. How is the system going to operate? What then happens to all those elaborate investigations by those investigators from national headquarters? Where does this thing go from here? What about those allegations that this particular, area commissioner of the South African Correctional Services was running a syndicate out of the Westville prison? What happens to all that evidence that they have gathered from Pretoria? And what happens to that? Do we open another docket here? In this country now, you had two dockets in the Mayua case. Are we going to have another docket now that will say something else? But then, in this particular instance, let us just stick to this one docket. What then happens to that docket? Right? The gentleman should have been, the particular individual should have been released, should have been arrested. It was not for the police to put up a legal defense spiritedly in defense of that particular individual. That individual should have been arrested. If the allegations against him, are unfounded and so on, or whether if the arrest was going to be unlawful, that is for him to challenge in court when he appears in court. It is not for anybody in any position of power to block an investigation and say, no, there's no case here, there's no case here, we're going to incur a lot of, costs if you go ahead and arrest this particular individual. It smacks of the abuse of power. And that is what it can only be, the abuse of power by certain individuals in certain positions to ensure that other people are above the law. That is the shocking news that I'm bringing to you this morning. As far as there's the link in the sense of Meiwa petition is concerned, I am working on the modalities of that link because you see, I am a bit old school, So I've engaged some younger people to help in that regard. But the link will be coming up, and it will be up and running, and you'll be able to access it and make your decision whether what you see in the Pretoria High Court is a fair trial or not. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please kindly keep on subscribing.